Hello everybody and welcome back to Project Storm. I'm Storm and today we are going to be going over something very awesome. I have been wanting to do this video for a very long time and it was going to be my 100th video, but I messed that up. Oops. So this is going to be a one-take wonder. I tried this previously, but the video file got corrupt, so we're just going to see how I do this time. But this video is going over that thing in the back. And I'm sure you guys have noticed from the title of the video, this is going over the perfected stealth drive and everything that it can do. I am going to explain it as much as possible. I'm going to figure it out as much as possible and put it on a plane while also making sure that I try not to use gyros, but also making sure that I can really show you the whole entire scheme of how this glitch works. For reference, my name is Storm. I am the owner of this YouTube channel. I made a creation a long time ago for any of those that didn't watch that video because it is very low quality. I made a video about something called the stealth drive. I was probably not the first to create it. I know I was the first to create it in its configuration that it has, but honestly, that doesn't matter in the glitch community. Got a lot of love, got a lot of hate, but hey, that's what happens when you get 50,000 views. Blew up, my channel got to where it is now, and now I am just a lowly content creator. But basically, that entire video was over a very advanced version of what's in the middle here. And I'm going to explain exactly that. This is the STSDU. Storm Stealth Drive Unit. STSDU. Nice. STSDU. This is gonna be hard. Okay. We're gonna save as STSDU. Woo! Don't mind the pink plane. That's my girlfriend's. And it flies really well, actually. That's impressive. Okay, so basically, the stealth drive. Let's pull out the old one. First of all, there's a few ground rules with this thing. You need to know a bit of context. Stealth drive messes with center of mass and weld groups. First of all, first and foremost, as simple as I can put it. It messes with center of mass and weld groups. Okay, the next thing, auto lock targeting. Auto lock targeting works by targeting the center of mass. So let's say the center of mass is in the back of, let's use a plane. It's in the very back of the plane, right? So if there's room for error, and someone shoots at the back of the plane, well, the guns will target the back of the plane, but they may miss and not hit the plane at all. If your center of mass is, let's say, in the front of the plane, if there's room for error, they may target, miss, and hit the center of the plane. You see what I mean? Okay, cool. Well, I just got rid of that completely and decided that I would just, not have a center of mass. This did not happen on purpose, I will say. I was very goofy and I did not get it done correctly, but it eventually did work. If I can find the original version, that would be great. But the stealth drive was actually a failed attempt at something that I really wanted to create in my life. It was going to be my first ever glitch engine that I created. I wanted to find a way to use weld groups to make propulsion. Not super simple. I gotta stop saying that, but not super simple. It was going to be very advanced, and I've been working on it I was working on it for 3 years, right? And I had finally reached a point where I thought I found something. And it was pretty cool. But then I realized it just exploded and didn't go anywhere. Made it a little bit more stable to see if I could actually use the thing. And then I realized it wouldn't work at all, right? So I was sad, obviously. Of course, but it was fun and I had fun with it. This is the original. So we have this, right? And then we have this. Okay, this was the stealth drive. This old hunk of junk is the stealth drive, a very powerful, very heavy modular component that is meant to go on anything except if you are on the ground, which eliminates like half the things that you would put it on. And, well, it was supposed to absolutely get rid of your center of mass. That's what I think I did. Oh, it doesn't have a seat, right? That's kind of important. Okay. So, you activate it for a little bit. And then, it does that. Now, it's gonna look really janky right now because it is on the ground. And I think it's completely exploding. But, there shouldn't be. If it's gone, I swear. Yeah, wow, that's embarrassing. Okay, let's try that again. And it started out of nowhere. Basically, all it is it's messing. Wow, 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 wow. Chill out. Okay, there. So it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be really loud, but that's okay, honestly. Okay, let's pick this up. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Now, we just wait. Okay, as you can see, my gun is jittering a little bit. And there it goes. No more lock-on. And as you can see, there's something flying around. Like, very fast. You can just barely see it. You can hear it, right? If you listen to this, I'm going to turn it up. And I'm going to mute. Headphone warning, by the way. Headphone warning. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that is the main stealth drive. It has no more lock-on. This is on 1 auto-aim, as you can see. No cuts. That's 1 auto-aim scale. And it's not locking on, right? If I touch it, that's where it gets scary. If I touch it, boop, it just bounces off, right? But if I stay close to it for too long, one of the hinges may actually enter my vehicle. And it creates almost like a force field that I can't roam through. Like so, one of the hinges came by and just completely destroyed something. So, it's very scary. It's very janky. And I'm over here, by the way. So, that's another thing. The center of mass will always be followed by the camera. The camera, so orbit camera, is right here. But my vehicle isn't. So this is where I am, right? This is the best form of stealth drive because it's just so volatile. I mean, you're never going to be able to target this thing because it's over freaking there. But, and it's not there. So, what? A 45-degree cone of aiming scale. And then, of course, if you shoot it, well, what the heck? Okay, there we go. Shoot it enough, it breaks, stops janking, and then you have auto aim again. But that is the old stealth drive. The old, very volatile one. But then I came across the problem, right? Like, well, I can't actually put it on a build. But then I did. I was very happy about that. But I couldn't really put it on a build without getting absolutely clobbered. So I decided, let's figure it out. And I just recently pulled it out again, that build. And I realized the thing actually doesn't work. So this creation is so janky, the stealth drive is so volatile that now it doesn't even work. The big one, at least. The one that everyone has been building. And that's scary because, well, a lot of people think it doesn't work anymore. I'm here to tell you that could not be further from the case. Meet Blueprint 2195. Okay. This is an SDSU carrier, and it is pretty great. I like this thing a lot. It's very fun, very cute, but it is my most stable stealth drive carrier. And I made a mini stealth drive, which I will teach you how to build today. So I'm gonna activate it. It's active. That's how fast it is. And there we go. We are stable. I'm going to fly straight now. Or try. Okay, activate it a little bit more to get more of the hinges out. And then we're good. So now, my center of mass is right here. And it's slightly moving. It's hard to control. Feels like an unstable plane now. But it's possible. It's possible to dogfight this thing. And my center of mass is right here. At maximum zoom, it's right here. And it will always get further away. And I will have this aura, basically, of hinges. It's pretty cool. But that's an easy way to tell that you have a stealth drive active. You will have an aura of hinges. And you will see your camera veering off. And yeah, that's basically it. Okay, now let me explain to you exactly what it means to have a stealth drive and what it does. Okay, the stealth drive is super simple. Actually, this time, super simple. To build one, it's just, I'm gonna go through the mini one. Okay, you need something to compress. First, you need to know about weld groups. Okay, dang, woo. Okay, super easy, super simple explanation. That is hella oversimplified, but if you guys want a video about this later, sure. Okay, weld groups. They are, there's weld groups in the game, and what a weld group is it is a group of blocks that cannot collide with each other. Like versus each other. They're a whole separate weld group. A weld group versus another weld group will not collide. But a weld group versus a weld group that can collide will collide, right? So, to make that easier to understand, it's mostly for glitching. Glitching has to deal with weld groups a lot. And what I mean by glitching is, yes, even hinge glitching and piston glitching, which all are for aesthetics or performance only, but are not engines. You still have to worry about this, and I'm sure a lot of you have horror stories of your own about weld groups. But basically, simple way to explain it is, here we go. We have a 1x2 block, right? Okay, cool, great, amazing. Now, let's say you wanted two 1x2 blocks, but you don't have the space, right? So you want the extra armor. It's good for armor. So sure, let's say we have an extra. Now you have an extra. Set this to 100 speed and start position 0, and there you have it. You have two 1x2 blocks inside each other. That's extra blocks, extra armor. Super simple. Let's say you wanted this to actually have armor on the top. Well, now you have armor on the top. But let's say you wanted it to have more armor on the top. Well, you can do that too. But the problem is, you can't. Because those are separate weld groups. Kinda makes sense? Not really? Okay. Another way to think about it is another separate weld group would be a wheel. The wheel is the most annoying thing in this game because it does not collide with anything. Let's use a go-kart wheel and see what happens. Wow, that's embarrassing. Okay, well, it collides with blocks only, but we don't talk about that. Anyways, let's say, what's a good one? Hinge. Yeah, a hinge. Okay, so everything mechanical. This is the last lesson of weld groups. Everything mechanical except for the piston and most of the suspension pieces, kind of. And the detachable block will create two separate weld groups at two ends. Okay, so let's use a hinge for example. Hinge, my favorite thing in the game, has created my most powerful engines and my most tricky little tech pieces. Okay, so let's use this. This on top is the head. This on the bottom is the base, okay? So, blue for base. Well, that's embarrassing. I'll put it at glow. Blue for base. H, what goes with H? Red for head. Red for head. Okay, so we have the head and the base, right? This steering hinge can move one of the axes and anchor through the other axes, right? So the base is the anchor, the head is the movement. Let's say we want this for a servo. A servo is interesting because it can go both ways, right? This can be the head or this can be the base, or you could do something like this, where this could be the head and this can be the base. Either way, it creates two separate weld groups. So let's continue on with the steering hinge. Now, I'm going to explain how the stealth drive works. What you are doing is you are cramming this weld group, right? The base weld group, and using the head weld group to attach to the base weld group from another hinge, and using that head weld group to attach to another one and another one. 4. Very simple, right? Now, this is weird, obviously, because, well, it's kind of like an exponential weld group thingy, right? Okay, so how do we compress them? Because what you want is these to all go into each other, all at once. So to compress them, we want this. A piston. Super simple. Now we could use another piston too. And that's also really easy. Now we need to connect them up. So let's connect them up to the hinges on one axis, the base. We connect up the base. To compress these, you need to connect it up as well through this, the head. But since you want these two pistons to be working on it and not one, you wouldn't use this. You would use this, a block 1x3. And now, if you really want to get technical, you can use this momentum to create something quite cool. But first of all, we're just going to test it and see if it works. It should not work on the ground because they use a certain mechanic that's pretty cool. A good duration and timing for pause is just 0.1, 0.1. It's good for not having to do it automatically, or what's it called? Yeah, automatically. Okay. And it works. Okay, I'm creating propulsion, but we are good. So that is the stealth drive, and bye. So that is something else you will notice. It will have force on your creation. A lot of it. A lot of force. The stealth drive is very volatile, and the heavier you are, the better. Or not, actually. I've noticed that sometimes it can just completely fling you around like you're a paper airplane, but we're going to do it like this. If you are anchored to anything, it will not work. Remember that. Because you are messing with the weld groups at that point, because now your base weld group is the freaking ground. I don't know how that works, don't ask me how, but now we have a working version. So, that is the stealth drive. Another thing you can do is direct where the hinges go. Easy way to do that is this. Put a shield piece, and then put a little funnel here. So now the hinges can only go up and out, diagonally. Pretty cool. Now try it. And they get out way faster, and you have more volatility. Now it works. See that? So yeah. That is the stealth drive. Super simple, super easy. What else do we want? We want to make a plane with it, don't we? Well, I could do that. But I'll do that when I get back. How about it? Or, I could just leave this video as a quick little explanation for the stealth drive. So, if you want part 2, where I make a plane with it, please comment, like, subscribe, tell me what you want to see next, and I really have to go eat because I haven't eaten today. So, yeah, if you got to this part, comment one by one, those who know, and yeah, have a great rest of your day. Remember, we're all trail makers, so keep on creating. Peace.